This video that you're currently watching is one that I've thought about making for a while. And this may be kind of like a controversial topic. This may even get some people mad at me, and that's not my intention at all with this video. I'm going to talk about UA sneakers and what I've seen and what I've experienced being a YouTube sneaker content creator. Now, I just want to say right off top that I don't care how people spend their money. Always do whatever you want, whatever makes you feel good, and spend the hard-earned money that you make on whatever you please to do. But in today's video, we're going to talk about the truth about UA sneakers on YouTube. Now, I just want to start off by saying that I'm not somebody that buys UA sneakers. For me, it's all about authentic, and that's not to throw shade at anybody that actually enjoys UA sneakers or does, spend their money on them. Personally, for me, I've always just been somebody that goes after the authentic real pair, and if I miss out on a particular sneaker and I can't afford to pay the resale, I just move on to the next thing. There's always the next release. There's always the next sneaker that you want. Now, there is certain sneakers that are sort of grails, and maybe you pick them up later on. Maybe you save up enough money to actually buy them and things like that, and I've done that from time to time. I've never gone out and spent $2,000 on a shoe, right? I kind of cap out around like that $1,200 range. But for the most part, if I miss out on a sneaker, I just move on to the next thing. Now, I have seen UA sneakers in the past, right? Now, like when I was growing up, they had flea markets and they had all types of, fake UA Air Jordans and colorways that never existed, and they were blatantly fake. Like you could definitely tell that they were fake. But in 2023, that's not necessarily the case. The fakes that are coming out nowadays are so good, most people cannot tell whether they have it in their hand or whether they're seeing it on somebody's feet, which is really scary if you think about it. The influx of these UA sneakers coming into the country or, just being made at all really makes it challenging for people that want to go out and get the real authentic sneaker, right? Because there's people out there that do scam and do try to make, full-blown resale money off of a UA shoe, which, they're getting for a fraction of the cost. Think of something like a Travis Scott or an Off-White Jordan 1 or something along those lines. And it's really, really hard to tell. And there's people that definitely get scammed on it. Now, I'm not saying that certain institutions, purposely, sell fake sneakers or anything like that, but it does open up for, more people to possibly get scammed with the UA market just becoming more and more prevalent and becoming more and more good at actually producing the sneakers that we pretty much all love and covet. And there's a whole subsection of the sneaker community that only rocks with UA sneakers. They would rather go out and spend $200 on a UA Air Jordan 1 when that same shoe is being sold out on the resale market for under retail. They would rather get the UA version than the actual, real deal Air Jordan made, sold on the Nike sneakers app. And then, basically like if they're going for under retail, they would still go out and rather spend the extra money to get the UA version, which kind of intrigues me a lot. Now, some people could sort of say, well, Air Jordan and Nike, their quality control isn't the best. And, even the UAs, it sometimes, have better quality, have better stitching, have less mistakes on the sneaker, which I can kind of see it sometimes because sometimes, man, when they release these shoes, they are not the greatest as far as quality control. We've seen mold on sneakers. We've seen shoddy stitching, shoddy craftsmanship on a number of releases. And that makes it even harder to tell real from fake a lot of the times. One of the things that I continue to see and continue to hear is that it's the same sneaker, it's made in the same factory, it's made by the same people with the same materials. It's basically a Nike product that, maybe Nike just didn't, give the okay on. Maybe, it's a B grade or something along those lines, right? Unauthorized authentic, rep. Basically what it is, in my personal opinion, it's not the same, right? And even if that were true, as somebody who is a sneaker content creator on YouTube, my Instagram is full of UA sellers constantly DMing me, asking me if I want to collaborate and do reviews on their sneakers and stuff like that, which I never respond to. Personally, I don't feel like as a content creator, I wouldn't feel right doing something along those lines because A, I don't want to mislead people who actually watch me and trust me, right? Who definitely, put their trust in me, watch my videos for my authentic opinion. I could not go on here and sit here and tell you, oh, this UA sneaker is just as good as the real ones, because a lot of these sneaker YouTube content creators that do UAs, that's what they do. And I just want to educate some of you guys, and this may, upset some people, and, I get it. But basically, some of these content creators that you're watching for UA content, they review the same sneaker like 6, 8, 10 times. And why do you think that is? It's because they're being sent these shoes from different sellers and basically they're being paid to do so. The going rate for a UA sneaker review is around $200. And basically, they send them the shoe, they get to keep the shoe, and then they send them, a couple $100 to do the video. And even though you can't really promote them on YouTube, what you can do is promote them on your Instagram. So you could say, go to this seller right here, this is where I got them. And then hopefully, in the eyes of the person that's sending the shoes and sending the money, it can generate some sales for them. Now, recently on Shein, for example, they just put out like a bunch of like Jordan looking sneakers, which is basically like the same silhouettes minus the Nike and Jordan branding, and they're selling them for $30, $50, right? And even in the UA market, like to get a good one, you're going to spend around $200. So basically like the same retail price you would pay on if you got them on the Nike sneakers app or Nike.com. So if they're being made for $20 or $30, which we all know like is probably the real cost of the shoe to be still make it and make a profit on it, the UA market is pretty much just as bad as the actual resale market, because they're just upcharging so much to get them. And it goes into, if these sneakers were so good, why would they constantly be reaching out to small YouTube content creators like myself and my friends that do YouTube? If they were so great and almost the real thing, why would there be so many sellers? Why would there be so many people just trying to get the word out and get content creators to promote their product if it was so good and so close to the real thing? The truth of the matter is it's not the real thing. It's a copyright infringement, right? They are getting materials that are close. They are getting the sneakers pretty much down to its science, right? Like, I'm not saying that they're nowhere near as good. You can always tell a real from a fake whenever you get them side by side. But a lot of people are just sort of falling into, I guess, I don't know, like a trap where, they're being told that it's exactly the same, it's just as good, no one's going to be able to tell. Why go out and spend money on the real thing when you can get the UA thing for maybe even just a couple of dollars cheaper? You don't have to sort of fight for it or anything like that, and no one's going to be able to tell the difference. I've actually had, and you can go on my Instagram right now and look at just regular pictures that I have posted with me and my fiance, and they've even went as far as to go outside of my DM to comment on pictures of me and my fiance, right? To say, respond to your DMs, I really want to work with you on a sneaker collaboration or whatever the case may be. They're pretty relentless. I have like probably hundreds of them in my Instagram. Like they're, in the back part, they don't really show up in the actual real messages, but it's like message request. And I could just scroll through it and I get them every single day. And I've even talked to a lot of my YouTuber friends and they get them every single day. And, I could see why some people would kind of, if they make content, right, maybe they would, accept the money and accept the shoes, right? Because YouTube really doesn't pay a whole lot for ad revenue. A lot of the sneaker YouTubers, even the big ones, don't make a whole lot of money, as far as like just making the videos, right? That's why they have sponsorships and, you got your, things like that where they can make a little bit of extra money, because making content on YouTube is really tough and it's really expensive to produce it. You need the cameras, you need the microphones, you need the lights, you need the time to actually do it. So I could see why people would fall victim to it and probably, sort of, put out these videos. But the one thing that you guys have to understand is that these people that are doing these videos and putting out this kind of content, they're being paid to do so, right? They're being paid to tell you it's just as good. Don't go out and pay resale. Don't go out and do any of those things. Now, I get the resale market is really, really high for certain sneakers, but in 2023, a lot of sneakers have been sitting and going under retail. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, things are not exactly the same as it was, when COVID was, basically just destroying the world's economy and making it really, really tough for people to get any kinds of goods and services. If you're a sneaker collector in 2023, there's a lot of sneakers that you can go out and get for retail, below retail, or even just slightly above retail. It's the grails. It's the ones that cost a lot of money, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, that, I think people are just more interested in picking up the UA version of, more so than, actually saving up to get the real deal, legit thing. And I totally get that. Spending $2,000 on a shoe is ridiculously stupid. Spending $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 on certain releases, sneakers that came out years ago that, there was only a handful of, that are just reselling for stupid amounts of money. That's really, really dumb. If you spend $30,000 on an M&M Jordan 4, man, you could have bought a really nice car or put down a super great down payment on a house. It doesn't make sense to do that. And I get why people get UAs for that kind of reasons, because I like the style of the shoe. They want to be able to wear it and stuff like that. I totally get it. It's not something that I would do. I just don't need that $30,000 M&M Jordan 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I think about it. But I did want to come on here, and I did want to make this video, not to call anybody out, right? Not to make anybody mad, but just to educate people. Because what you're seeing on screen sometimes is not exactly the truth. You're kind of being misled a lot of the times. Now, I'm not saying every content creator that makes UA content is doing this. Some actually just make content basically because, you know, that's what they do. That's how they feel. They're not trying to convince you of anything. They're not being paid to tell you something. You know what I'm saying? But you can blatantly tell, especially when a content creator makes 6, 8, 10 videos of the same sneaker, but from different sellers. You know what I mean? They're being paid for each and every single one of them. And if you go to their Instagrams, you know, you'll see pictures of that shoe with the person who sold it to them tagged in the, you know, the little description box and stuff like that. That's how they're generating money for these things. The other side of that is, you know, you don't really know what you're funding whenever you're buying sneakers on the UA market, right? It's like the black market. You don't know. You could be funding all types of, you know, real inhumane things. You know, a lot of these sneakers are being made in China by people who don't get bathroom breaks, or, you know, they, I don't know, get paid pennies on a dollar. You know, they're made to work 16 hours a day. You know what I mean? And, you know, there's a lot of human rights violations, you know, as far as, you know, basically every single company that produces products, right? But especially when it's not really as regulated as somebody who's like Nike or somebody else, you really don't know what you're really putting your money back behind. What are you really funding whenever you buy these shoes? So just some things to think about, guys. You can, you know, let me know down in the comment section how you feel about this. You know, like I said, I don't care what you do. I don't ever really, you know, just look down on people who buy UA sneakers or wear UA sneakers. I mean, you work hard for your money, and, you know, you can spend your money on whatever you want, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, if that's what you choose to do, you know, more power to you. But that's just how I feel about it, and that's my take on it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I love you all, and catch you guys in the next one. For more sneaker content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you hit that notification bell so you never miss a video.